GMNA uses artificial intelligence for generated speech, visuals, and production. AI-generated content may contain errors. Please verify important information before making decisions or taking action.
Good evening, I'm Mark Beaumont. Tonight we'll look at Marie-Philippe Poullain's upcoming knee surgery, the traffic snarls around the Jazz Festival, and a free Enguin de Poitrine concert at the Festival International de Jazz de Montreal. Over to you, Emma.
This Saturday, the Montreal Jazz Festival will host a free Enguin de Poitrine concert on the outdoor stage at Place des Arts, open to all ages.
The concert begins at 6 p.m., featuring a blend of soulful blues and modern jazz, and audiences can enjoy complimentary refreshments provided by local vendors.
No tickets are required. Attendees simply arrive at the venue, where the festival's volunteer staff will guide them to designated standing areas for optimal viewing.
With the concert set for this Saturday, we have plenty ahead, lots to get to, so let's begin and stay tuned. Good evening, Montreal. Veteran forward Marie-Philippe Poulain will undergo knee surgery in July, the Victoire general manager announced today. The Canadian Olympic champion, holder of 3 gold medals, will miss the upcoming PWHL season while doctors treat the injury. Head coach Daniel Sauvageau said the procedure should restore Poulain to full strength, noting her key role in Montreal's recent Walter Cup win. The operation is scheduled for early July with a leading orthopedic specialist from the MUHC network. Team officials added that roster adjustments will be made to cover her absence and that the league will track her recovery. Fans can expect periodic updates as her rehabilitation progresses, and the organization reaffirmed its support for Poulain throughout the process. Local supporters expressed admiration for her perseverance, and the Victoire thanked the medical staff for their swift coordination.
Free Enguin de Poitrine concert set for Saturday at the Montreal Jazz Festival. The indie rock duo will take the stage Saturday evening, offering a full set without charge as part of the festival's lineup. Organizers highlight that the event is one of 10 free concerts scheduled throughout the festival, each designed to draw crowds to the streets and parks. Fans can expect the group's signature blend of brass-driven melodies and energetic rhythms, a sound that has built a loyal following across the province. Ticketless entry will be available at the designated outdoor venue near the downtown core, with ample space for families and music lovers alike. Festival officials say the free series has become a major draw, boosting attendance and adding a lively, accessible vibe to the city's summer cultural calendar.
Montreal city streets glimmered with red and white fleur-de-lis banners as the province marked its national holiday yesterday. The festive decor stretched from the historic Old Port to the bustling streets of the Plateau, turning the island into a vivid tribute to Quebec's heritage. In a surprise musical moment, the legendary folk rock group Harmonium took the stage at Place des Arts, delivering their first collective performance in more than 40 years. Fans gathered in droves, hearing classics like Pour un Instant reverberate through the hall, a reminder of the band's lasting influence on the province's cultural landscape. Organizers said the reunion underscored the holiday's spirit of unity and artistic celebration. The evening concluded with fireworks lighting the skyline, leaving residents with a lingering sense of pride and nostalgia. Many will remember the night as a defining moment in the province's cultural calendar.
After a Montreal couple tried to take advantage of a 25% discount offered by Air Canada, they found the rebooked tickets ended up costing more than the original purchase. The pair had canceled their initial flight and booked a new one later in June, expecting the sale to lower the fare. However, Air Canada's dynamic pricing model raised the base fare between the two bookings, so the discount was applied to a higher price, resulting in a net increase. Airline representatives said the algorithm adjusts prices in real time based on demand, seat inventory and booking window, and that the discount is applied after those calculations. Consumer rights experts warned that such practices can mislead travelers and are urging regulators to require clearer disclosure of how discounts interact with fluctuating fares. The incident underscores growing concerns over price transparency in the airline industry.
Yesterday, the Montreal Historical Society formally urged Mayor Soria Martinez-Ferrada to intervene in the removal of the Jacques Cartier Champlain statue that was taken down in Ontario earlier this week. The society, citing the monument's historic ties to the city's founding narrative, asked the mayor to arrange for its return to a public space in Montreal. Officials in Ontario confirmed the statue was dismantled after a municipal vote, citing concerns over colonial symbolism. The historical group emphasized that the work, originally installed in a downtown plaza, remains a cultural asset and should be preserved rather than discarded. Mayor Ferrada has not yet issued a response, but the request adds pressure on provincial authorities to consider the statue's fate amid ongoing debates over public monuments across the province. They hope a collaborative plan will follow soon. Up next, we'll see why the city is honoring a Canadian's forward as an honorary citizen, then more after break. We will be right back.
If you run a venue, a comedy night, a concert, a fundraiser, you already know the hardest part isn't the show. It's selling the seats. Theaterfiller changes that. In minutes, you're set up with your own ticketing page, QR code delivery, and a door scanner. No technical headaches. No middleman taking a cut of your night. Your event, your tickets, your revenue. Go to theaterfiller.com and fill every seat.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm glad you're still with us. Let's dive into today's local stories with Emma Leclerc, covering neighborhood updates and community events.
Emma Leclerc, the Quebec national holiday came alive Wednesday afternoon on Rue Rachel, where more than 200 artists marched through the neighborhood. Sports teams, dancers, clowns, and even senior citizens on mopeds joined the colorful procession, turning the street into a moving celebration. Spectators lined the sidewalks, waving flags and cheering as the parade wound its way past cafes and historic buildings. Organizers said the event is part of the annual holiday festivities that draw crowds from across the province. The lively mix of music, acrobatics, and community spirit highlighted the day's significance for residents, offering families a vibrant backdrop for picnics and photo ops. Local cafes along the route reported brisk business, with patrons enjoying iced drinks as the music floated by. As the final float rolled by, the crowd applauded, marking another successful chapter in the city's tradition of honoring Quebec's heritage.
Today, the city will gather at City Hall for ceremony honoring a hometown hero. At 3 p.m., Montreal will name Canadians forward Brendan Gallagher an honorary citizen, a tribute that acknowledges his impact on the ice and his connection to the neighborhoods that line the streets. Officials plan a brief program, followed by a photo opportunity with the player and his family. Fans can expect a few moments of applause as the mayor presents a plaque bearing the city's seal. The event reflects a tradition of recognizing athletes who have brought pride to the province, and it offers a chance for residents to celebrate a familiar face in a formal setting. The ceremony is open to the public, with seating arranged for those who wish to watch the presentation.
Historian Genevieve Pronovost revealed yesterday that the city's earliest 7 streets were deliberately named by early planner François Dollier de Casson. She explained that the Sulpician missionaries, who laid out the original grid in the 17th century, chose an orthogonal pattern to streamline travel toward the future Notre Dame Church. The plan positioned those streets in a straight line radiating from the intended cathedral site, a design that still directs vehicle and foot traffic across the neighborhoods. Those first avenues, still winding through today's blocks, remain central to daily commutes, their names echoing a centuries-old vision of orderly access. Pronovost's findings connect familiar street signs to that original intent, reminding residents that the routes they drive on each morning were conceived to serve a single, sacred destination. The research shows how the historic layout continues to shape everyday movement through the boroughs.
Tennis Canada announced on Tuesday that a new tennis stadium will rise in the city, featuring a retractable roof designed to host major professional events. Officials say the venue responds to the growing demands of the tour calendar, allowing matches to continue regardless of weather. The project will sit on a downtown site, offering fans a modern, weather-proof setting while providing players with the facilities required by today's circuits. Construction is slated to begin later this year, with the organization emphasizing that the stadium will help keep the city on the front line of international tennis. Local businesses anticipate increased activity around tournament weeks, and the design includes seating for thousands, along with space for community programs when matches aren't in session. The announcement marks a significant step toward expanding the sport's presence in the region.
The English-language segment of a planned bilingual debate was scrapped after 2 party leaders refused to attend. Election officials had been arranging the forum as a chance for voters to hear from the 5 major parties ahead of the fall provincial election. When the 2 leaders announced they would not take part, the roster fell below the threshold required for a meaningful exchange, prompting officials to cancel the event. The bilingual format was meant to let voters compare party positions in both official languages. Organizers said the decision was made to avoid a one-sided discussion that would not represent the full political spectrum. The cancellation leaves the remaining parties to seek other ways to communicate their platforms to Francophone and Anglophone voters alike. As the campaign season accelerates, candidates will now focus on rallies, media appearances, and local meetings to reach constituents.
And now, let's check in with our meteorologist for tonight's forecast across the island.
A south-sourced high-pressure ridge, reinforced by a swift southwest jet, is keeping Montreal dry tonight. On this day, the all-time heat mark sits at 30.2 degrees Celsius, set in 2016 during a lingering heat wave that pushed the city well above its normal summer peak. The cold record is 11.3 degrees Celsius, recorded in 2015 when an Arctic dip surprised a typically mild June. By contrast, the climatological average high hovers around 28 degrees and the average low near 15, underscoring how today's temperatures sit squarely between the historic extremes. On the live radar, the southern band of rain echoes is marching eastward across the South Shore. At the moment, the echo sits just west of St. Jean, moving at a brisk pace under the southwest jet. It will brush the island around 8 o'clock, peak near 8:15, then fade out by 9. The rest of the province remains radar quiet as high pressure dominates. At 6 p.m., Montreal sits at 24 degrees with mainly clear skies and a humidity of 30%. A near-average high-pressure ridge is rising, sealing in dry air and limiting cloud development. Overhead, the jet stream races at 116 kilometers per hour from the southwest, steering any lingering moisture quickly eastward. Because the ridge is strengthening, temperatures will hold steady through the night, only slipping to around 23 as the sun sets at 8:47. The wind remains gentle from the south at 15 kilometers per hour, well below the 25-kilometer threshold for noticeable gusts. UV index reads 4, and no weather alerts are active. No rain is expected after the brief band that will pass between 8 and 9, leaving a dry, stable night. Friday will see the ridge retreat, inviting a weak frontal boundary that brings overcast conditions and a 40% chance of rain. Temperatures dip to a high of 22 and a low of 15, a noticeable drop from today's warmth. Saturday the ridge rebuilds, delivering mainly clear skies with a modest 20% rain risk and a high of 24, low 15. Sunday promises a classic summer day. Clear sky, high 26, low 17, and calm winds. Monday the pattern holds, overcast again, but without measurable precipitation, high 26, low 17. Tuesday the flow becomes more southerly, increasing moisture and delivering a 30% rain chance, high 27, low 20. The week swings between mild rain chances and warm, dry intervals, offering a dynamic but manageable pattern. And that's your weather. Remember, the local sunset is also available as a podcast. Listen anytime on iHeartRadio or wherever you get your podcasts.
After the break, traffic snarling around the Jazz Festival will preview Max Richter's concert and why Brendan Gallagher is honored. We will be right back.
If you run a venue, a comedy night, a concert, a fundraiser, you already know the hardest part isn't the show. It's selling the seats. Theaterfiller changes that. In minutes, you're set up with your own ticketing page, QR code delivery, and a door scanner. No technical headaches. No middleman taking a cut of your night. Your event, your tickets, your revenue. Go to theaterfiller.com and fill every seat.
Heavy congestion rolls through downtown as the International Montreal Jazz Festival draws crowds. Expect slow-moving traffic on St. Laurent, St. Catherine and Peel, especially near the Bell Center. The festival also blocks several side streets, so plan extra time if you're heading to the Plateau or Old Port. A major closure shuts Avenue Isabella and Chemin de la Côte, St. Luc at the intersection with Rue St. Denis. Traffic is diverted onto Rue Saint-Arbrook and Boulevard St. Laurent, creating bottlenecks during the afternoon peak. Roadwork continues on Avenue Soligny between Autoroute 25 and Rue Honoré Beaugrand, with lane reductions and occasional stop and go. Drivers on Autoroute des Carrés between Rue Saint-Arbrook and Chemin Queen Mary should expect a single lane in each direction and reduced speeds. Construction on Autoroute Métropolitaine near Boulevard Lacordaire adds a short merge zone, so keep a safe following distance. Transit runs on schedule with no reported delays. Expect a longer travel time across the city this afternoon.
Opening day of the 46th Montreal International Jazz Festival erupts at Place des Arts, with dozens of free and ticketed concerts spilling onto indoor halls and outdoor streets. It's the city's biggest music celebration, and you'll hear everything from jazz legends to fresh local talent. Across the hall, Max Richter joins the American Contemporary Music Ensemble at Salle Wilfrid Pelletier for a sweeping contemporary classical program that turns the festival's energy into a cinematic soundscape. If you prefer groove, bassist Marcus Miller takes the stage at the Mason Symphonique, delivering a funk-laden tribute to Miles Davis that will get even the most casual listener moving. As the sun sets, Cinema sous les étoiles lights up parks throughout the Quartier des Spectacles with free outdoor movie screenings, perfect for a relaxed evening with friends. Looking ahead, keep an ear out for Diana Krall's two-night jazz showcase tomorrow and Soif de Cider Festival this weekend along Latching Canal. And now here's Jason with sports.
Here's the latest on Montreal's hockey heroes and Hall of Fame honors. Montreal will honor forward Brendan Gallagher with honorary citizenship during a ceremony at City Hall on Thursday at 3 p.m., recognizing his contributions on and off the ice, CBC Sports reports. The event underscores his impact within the community and the franchise. The Hockey Hall of Fame announced its 2026 inductees on Monday, with Canadians goaltending legend Carey Price earning election and veteran forward Patrice Bergeron receiving special recognition, CBC Sports notes. Their careers, marked by championships and leadership, cement their places among hockey's elite. Montreal Canadiens legend Carey Price was elected to the Hockey Hall of Fame on Monday, joining peers Pekka Rinne, Keith Tkachuk and Cindy Curley in the 2026 player class. CBC Sports NHL notes the induction ceremony will celebrate his career achievements later this year.
Dunkin' on St. Laurent, a familiar stop in the Plateau, joins a growing network of cafes across Montreal. The coffee and donut chain is gearing up for its biggest expansion yet, with new operators planning to launch at least 100 restaurants in Quebec and Ontario over the next 2 years. The first of these fresh locations will open simultaneously in both provinces, leaning into the nostalgia of a classic menu while introducing modern twists. For longtime Montrealers, that familiar pink sign on a bustling corner feels like a reminder of weekend mornings shared with friends. It's more than a coffee stop. It's a thread that weaves together neighborhoods, keeping our streets lively and our conversations sweet. Stay tuned as we celebrate the free Angon de Poitrine concert this Saturday at the Jazz Festival. It's a citywide party.
If you run a venue, a comedy night, a concert, a fundraiser, you already know the hardest part isn't the show. It's selling the seats. Theaterfiller changes that. In minutes, you're set up with your own ticketing page, QR code delivery, and a door scanner. No technical headaches. No middleman taking a cut of your night. Your event, your tickets, your revenue. Go to theaterfiller.com and fill every seat.
Tonight we step inside the Bell Centre, home of the Canadiens, where the echo of cheering fans usually rolls across the ice. This evening the arena's bright lights fell on a different court, a portable hardwood set up in the lower level, and nearly 100 young girls from every corner of Montreal gathered, sneakers squeaking, backpacks at their feet. Coach Isabelle Tremblay, a former university star, ran the 3-on-3 tryout with a grin, watching the girls dart across the floor, their jerseys a swirl of pink and turquoise. One moment captured the spirit. 12-year-old Amelie, who had never played on a professional venue before, sank a clean three-pointer and crowd of teammates erupted in a spontaneous cheer that bounced off the rafters. The energy turned the tryout into a celebration of community, showing how women's basketball is blooming across Canada and how single evening can plant confidence in a generation. As lights dimmed, the girls left the court with high fives and the knowledge that they have earned a place in a sport that is growing stronger every day. Montreal's future is bright, and it begins with moments like this.
On a crisp evening at Place Jacques Cartier, families, students, and local musicians gathered beneath twinkling streetlights for a candlelit vigil that followed the mayor's appeal for tighter gun laws. Emma Leclerc, we're hearing the mayor speak, but we're also hearing the community speak back. What does that look like on the ground? A small choir of high school students lifted their voices, their harmonies weaving through the rustle of autumn leaves, while a volunteer firefighter handed out warm mugs of cocoa to anyone who paused. Near the center of the square, a group of children from the neighborhood art program began sketching a mural on a temporary wall, their crayons tracing hopeful scenes of parks, bicycles, and shared laughter. The moment that anchored the evening arrived when a 7-year-old, clutching a single candle, whispered, "We want peace for everyone," and the crowd fell silent, the flame flickering against the night. In that quiet, the promise of collective action felt as tangible as the glow spreading across the square. Montreal's strength is reflected in these simple, shared gestures of hope.
Thank you, Montreal, for joining us on the local sunset. Tonight's highlight, seeing the national holiday parade light up Rue Rachel, reminded us why the city shines. I'm Mark Beaumont, and I look forward to bringing you more stories tomorrow. Until then, stay safe and enjoy the evening.